What will you find on the next page? Our lives are this incredible, unfolding, beautiful, sometimes so painful, glorious story. Not a story that was written for us, that we're stuck in, that we have to live no matter what. A story that we're literally participating in writing. Now, the hardest part of the story of our life is there are other people that are co-authoring the story with us. They've got their own free will. They get their choices. And so this page of your story, the one you just finished, it may contain heartbreak, a loss that is so shatteringly devastating that honestly, right now, in this moment, when you sit there, you don't really feel like you'll ever be able to live through even the end of this page. And sometimes the best, which is also the worst part of things, is happening simultaneously in this part of the story that we're living in right here, right now. And that is the simple truth that the story keeps moving, that it keeps going, that we don't get to the bottom of the page and hit this massive cliffhanger of that's all I'm going to ever happen. Now, a lot of times we feel that way. Oh, trust me, I get it. I know what it's like to feel like now the story is written in stone. And I may be still alive when I reach the next page, but I'm just going to float through the rest of the book and nothing good is ever going to happen to me again. And we take the evidence from this page that we just lived and we use it as some predictor of everything that's ever going to be. We're on page 74 of a 300-page book. And we've already decided this absolutely is now the end. It's just going to be hundreds and hundreds of pages of mindless dribble with you, the primary protagonist of your story, drifting through aimlessly, hopelessly shattered. Or because some of us, this page has been massive joy, excitement, the greatest possible things you could ever imagine. And we're floating and we think just the opposite of what I was saying. Massively, incredibly wonderful, good things are going to happen for the entirety of the rest of the story. And bad is not possible to touch this person ever again. And if our lives were a magical fairy tale, and they all lived happily ever after kind of a situation, that could be true. Real life is so much messier than that. And unlike a story where the author gets to control the destiny of every single person, us as the authors of our own life, we have co-writers. Some of them we've invited in, some of them we haven't at all. Some of them that we thought they were going to be the greatest story ever, and they ended up being the worst heartbreak ever. Some of them we thought they were horrendously evil characters, and we find out actually that they become some of our closest friends. All of that's true from these amazing co authors of life because we don't live in a bubble. We're not just simply sitting behind a keyboard, typing out or chatting with ChatGPT and creating this fictional work. We're living our life. Even if you were spending all day, which is fun to do, crafting an incredibly cool story with some AI, that would be the entirety of your life and the world that surrounds it unfolding. and the page turns. No matter what state we're in as we hit the bottom of today, the bottom of this page, or we hit the bottom of yesterday's page and we're moving strongly forward into today now. The pages keep turning, they don't stop. Life keeps going. Some days the pages are filled with incredible things, and some days they feel monotonously boring. And sometimes that thing that is totally boring ends up really being something very important. And sometimes it's just totally boring. Sometimes when we get to page 226, page 74 has a whole different understanding and meaning. And that person that was in our life, that greatest, highest joy, or lowest, deepest trauma, or neutral came into our life, came back out. Sometimes all of a sudden it makes so much more sense than it did. But in every instance, there's more story here. And we feel like, just like I'm doing right now, we open up the book of our life and we read. Then we launched her book and it became a #1 bestseller in 3 categories. So many people downloaded it that it became 72 within hours and it crashed her entire website. And the thing about it is, that was the bottom of the page, but it wasn't the end of the story. It wasn't the end of the story for the person that I'm talking about in that. And it wasn't the end of the story for authors that I've worked with or all the other incredible things that I've been blessed to get to do in life. And the same is true for you. This page may not make sense at all. Sometimes that's because you haven't read enough of the story. And sometimes that's because the other co-authors in our life have written things in there that we're never fully going to understand. Both of those are okay. But I encourage you today, spend the rest of today and also go into tomorrow as we start our brand new week here with Sunday. Go into it with excitement, asking yourself, what is the next page? What am I going to find there? Ask yourself that question. What will I find on the next page of the story of my life? I hope today finds you happy, safe, warm, and loved. And that if you're going through some stuff, that this little bit of time here together around the fire or the air conditioner, depending on how hot it is, gave you just a little bit of peace and that you can have an incredibly great day. I appreciate you. Thanks for joining me today. We'll talk soon.